Yeah.
Over there.
But
Well,
Tamar, I did just want to shift gears, and I hope it's
Yeah,
okay. A lot of guys who my husband and I like my husband's friends specifically also overlap with Max's friends as well. Um they have like a cutoff age. Let's say they're like 35, 36 in their later
yeah,
30s. Either divorced or it just hasn't happened for them yet of them getting married. They'll
yeah,
tell me that they do want to date someone younger because of fertility. And I
yeah,
always have a hard time with this question. I think first of all, in today's medical world, it's fantastic. Um, the lengths that have gone for the progressive lengths that have gone into fertility, and it's just incredible what like today's science can do for fertility in general. So that's one thing. The second thing is, in my opinion, it's not a golden standard, a woman's age. Even though, yes, as you do get older, you can look at like a graph and like your levels do decrease. But
yeah,
in my opinion, I always tell them like, how do you know?
yeah,
Like, who are
100%.
you to say because someone is, let's say, in the age of 26 instead of 32,
Yeah,
somebody at 26 is going to be able to have children easier or whatever the case may be.
100%. So I'm gonna answer your
So,
question.
yeah.
I want to say first of all, I'm not a doctor, but at the same time, the amount of knowledge I have because I have worked with so many people, so many professionals in this field. Like my doctor even looks at me as like, he'll be like he's giving me, he's transferring an embryo into me, and he's like, "You help so many people," and I'm like, "Thanks,"
Right.
And
Well,
we're like,
yeah, no, I think honestly, like hearing it from you firsthand is like
yeah,
a lot more interesting because you're also the patient, you've gone
yeah,
through it, and you did get married at 22 and 23. I mean,
yeah,
you did get married at 23, and like things are just not in your control. And
yeah.
like when I hear these requests to me, it's like literally insane.
Great. So I'll tell you, I speak to hundreds of people. Like I feel like I'm always speaking to people, right? Like I'm always speaking to people about fertility, right? Like that's a big part of my life. It's just like talking to people about their fertility and helping them, and even at this point, like I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not like I'll never be like I'm a doctor. You can give me your ultrasound and blood work results, and I'll like figure it out. But like at the same
Yeah.
time, people do send me their blood work and ultrasound results, and I'm like able to read them. Um, and I think that a few different things I want to say. First of all, infertility happens to 1 in 6 couples. Now, that spectrum is very big. Um, and there's a lot of different diagnoses. I hate when people think it's just PCOS. It's not. PCOS is
Mhm.
one of the many, many, many diagnoses. It's also not just a woman's issue. The statistics are that men are 33% of the issue, women are 33% of the issue, and combined it's 33% of the issue. Meaning it is equal is equal thirds, a man's issue, a woman's issue, and together. um I also want to say that there's incredible organizations, in case anybody is struggling, that there's very, very specific organizations that people should go to for different things, and knowing who to go to for the right things is very important.
Mhm.
um that for us, they there's a few things that I want to say. So, um,
But I think specifically to like people who are older, I think is like a question, right?
no, I know,
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna get to that. I'm in the middle of getting to
It's
that. I
okay.
just
Take your time.
have like a lot to say on this topic, so I'm just gonna break it down for you. I think we started doing IVF. I believe it was 2021.
Okay.
So I was at the time I was um I think I had just turned 28. So I am, now I'm 32. We are still getting eggs. We're still making embryos, even at 32. In fact, we're making better embryos because we have learned over the years what our issues are, and what they're not. um,
Right.
when we first started, they thought I had PCOS. We learned that we do not have PCOS. I have DOR. There's a few different other issues. And that's very important to note of right? And I also think it's very important to have a really good doctor that is going to help you with this process. I, when we started struggling, we've been struggling to conceive since in total, it's been 6.5 years. I have seen people that are in their 40s or 50s conceive quicker than us. There is such thing as donor eggs. There is such thing as donor sperm. There is such thing as freezing your eggs. I definitely recommend, if you're over 30, I would definitely look, and you're not married, I would definitely look into the process of freezing your eggs. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really big thing. But I think that men have to realize that too, of people can freeze their eggs, and you can use a donor, egg, and a lot of people use these alternative methods, and people don't necessarily know. In this day and age, there are so many different ways to have
Mm-hmm.
a child, and I'm not just talking about adoption. I'm talking about all the donors and freezing and just I and it's so important to talk to your doctor about reproductive health, because there are all those options. I think a lot of men don't know all these options, and I think a lot of men just assume, oh, she's not going to have a baby because she's 39, but also I have to say that I know a few 39-year-olds that got pregnant much quicker than I did, and I'm saying, and I think that you also have to look at fertility as a spectrum, right? There are people that maybe the people, maybe somebody has, is 39 and heavy and whatever, but maybe they could get pregnant quicker than someone that's 28 and is not. I also think that the most important thing, honestly, is to look into your AMH level and your FSH level. And if you haven't looked into those yet, ask your doctor, because those things
For a
are
woman, you mean? Like for a
for a
woman.
woman. For a
Yeah.
woman, that they should know what their AMH and FSH level is. And I would also say that if you really want to help yourself, do more genetic testing than you necessarily would, because genetic testing is a really, we've done, at this point, we've done every single genetic test ever, but there's a lot of genetic tests that people don't know about. When we first got married, I did Durisharm.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
that
I
was
was gonna say my husband and I, we did J screen, and it was fantastic. The amount of things that come out, we were like, whoa.
Yeah, so that wouldn't have helped us at all. But even J screen, right? We have done karyotype, which is a test of miscarriage, a gene of miscarriage. Because we had 4 miscarriages, we've done a microchip analysis, which is even more in depth. I think to in Miras Hashem, everyone will find a bashert ASAP. Also,
Right.
it's my birthday today. It's my Hebrew birthday. So I'm going to give everyone a bracha that everyone should find their zivug
Yes.
ASAP.
Amen.
Amen.
And that it should be the right person, and that they should do that person should do it on them like Giddy does on me.
Amen, amen. And also for men, just also for the older men, what we said, it's 33%, 33%, 30%. It's
Yeah.
important to talk to your doctor, whatever, there's
And
a little bit more
testosterone
time.
levels, what do men need?
I would
To test their
look
testosterone?
So first of all, I would you can do a sperm test
More
of
sperm
seeing
testing.
the morphology and the motility the how many you have, like that is important. There is a bunch of new tests coming out in terms of sperm. I would, and like you can go to your urologist and be like, hey, I heard about this thing of the vericycle. I'm gonna say that wrong. The versicle vein. Like, can you check that out and like see, because making yourself like as ready to be able to have a child is really, you can do that. And like there are many guys that need surgery because of that. And I think that like there are so many things that go into it. And also, like, I have to say, and this came up with my therapist not that long ago, there's a lot of women that are not just freezing their eggs, but actually going on to be single mothers by choice, quote unquote, because they're not finding the right person for them. And I think that like,
at that point, yeah, I mean, but that's also important for Shidduchim because like people have to like it might be something that you might want to like think about too because like okay, like it might be like not the way that you wanted things, but like if this is a really good person for you, and like they're a little bit old and like they might be a little bit older, you might be a little bit older, it might be something that you might want to think into.
And no, I don't think you're making sense, honey. But I think in terms of that, I think that like, there are a lot of people that do, have babies, single mothers by choice, quote unquote. And I think that like we have to realize how hard it is for these people to become single mothers by choice, and that it's really not a choice. And I hate saying single mothers by choice because you're looking at this person and it's like, what are they supposed to do? Yes, okay, maybe the fact that they are not a mother, right? Maybe the fact that they are becoming a mother, even though they aren't married, is a choice, quote unquote. But are they not supposed to have a baby? And I heard people in the firm world are starting to have become single mothers by choice. A lot of women, especially in Israel, I've heard, are starting to become single mothers by choice. And I think that is awesome, but it's also scary for Shidduchim. That Shidduchim are becoming so bad and that it's so hard to find people zivug that is what they're ending up doing is having children by themselves. And I'm not saying it's bad to be a single mother by choice, chas v'shalom times a million. What I am saying is Shidduchim need to not be as tough. Otherwise, you're going to have many more single mothers by choice,
right.
And the marriage rate may drop a lot.